Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of New York versus the Superior Court of California. The background in this case is a former Jehovah's Witness sued the Watchtower for failing to protect her from sexual abuse by a congregation member when she was a child. And the core issue, the victim's legal team requested internal documents, including letters and files from Watchtower's database of known abusers. Well, Watchtower refused, claiming clergy-penitent privilege, and they tried to block the discovery of those records. The ruling, the court rejected Watchtower's arguments. It said the organization must turn over the documents and cannot use religious privilege to shield internal abuse records. Why this matters? This ruling made it clear that religious organizations cannot hide behind clergy privilege to avoid accountability in child sexual abuse cases. Welcome back, folks. This is a case that matters to all of us. In this case, the Watchtower tried to block the release of their own internal abuse records by claiming a religious privilege, clergy-penitent privilege. That's what the Catholic priests claim, so they're just like them. But the court said no, you don't get to hide the evidence just because you're a church. That's loose, because they're a cult. It's one of the clearest rulings saying the protection of children outweighs religious secrecy. And that's why this case still matters, folks. So let's dive into this, and we're going to do a comparison. Look at the actual case and see how Watchtower did a comparison. Well, welcome back, everyone, to Fixing My Faith. Today we're diving into a jaw-dropping claim made by the Watchtower, and we're going to put it to the test here in a few minutes. Now, in their legal argument in this case, Watchtower compared Jarrett Loesch, one of their governing body members, to the Dalai Lama. Can you believe that? Sounds impressive, right? But when you actually line up their actions, the comparison falls apart really fast. Let's take a quick look. I put a thumbnail up here, right here. There's the Dalai Lama compared to the Watchtower. When you look at focus, well, the Dalai Lama, their focus is on compassion and transparency. Watchtower, their focus is on protecting image and assets. There's a big difference there. Watchtower is about property, protecting their image, lying in court. The Dalai Lama, when it comes to legal response, faces public interviews and questions. The Watchtower refuses depositions and hides documents and even shreds them and even instructs their people, their elders, to shred records. Now, accountability, and that's CSA records, folks. That's crimes, cover-ups of crimes. So very serious what Watchtower does. Dalai Lama doesn't do that. Now, accountability, the Dalai Lama is subject to criticism and oversight, while on the other hand, the Watchtower dodges court accountability. Yes, we've seen that in every case. Victims. Well, the Dalai Lama advocates for the compassion toward all, and for those that are the lowly ones, the ones that are abused. The Watchtower covers up abuse of children. So that kind of gives us a look at the at a comparison chart, folks. Let's look at this document now where Watchtower is making this statement so you can see it for yourself. Well, here's the document where the Watchtower made this claim. It's Find Law, Lopez versus Watchtower Bible and Tract Society. And we'd like to thank Watching Watchtower for bringing this to the table. It's an interesting subject to really talk about. And we're going to zoom all the way down here to the Dalai Lama, right here. And the referee recommendation. So the referee held a hearing on December 13, 2013, at which both counsel had extensive opportunity to present their arguments. Several days after the hearing, the Watchtower requested permission to submit additional information regarding the Jehovah's Witness organizational structure and the role of the governing body structure, including that of Losch's role, and is solely one of a spiritual leader. So the reason I wanted to bring this up, folks, is recently I just did a video. The governing body, including Jarrett Losch, is all subpoenaed to court, or to a deposition where they have to talk about CSA cases. So I'm wondering if they're going to pitch this thing back, that they're all spiritual leaders and they're not, they're above this. Well, they're comparing Losch, it says, akin to the Dalai Lama. Can you believe that, folks? That's how they're pitching this to the court system. So if you're a Jehovah's Witness, your governing body is compared to the Dalai Lama. We're going to take a quick look at the Dalai Lama. We did do a comparison chart, and they're not saying they're a corporate management agent. So what happened? The referee denied the motion, concluding the issue had been fully briefed. But it's important that we look at this, because it gets us into the mindset of the governing body. How do they view themselves? Well, let's take a look at the Dalai Lama. This is just off Wikipedia. And I can throw that in so you guys can look at it. It's huge. It's long. It's a long article, the Dalai Lama. There he is. So I was going all the way down to his public image page. So the Dalai Lama is placed highly in global surveys of the world's most admired men, ranking with Pope Francis, who just recently passed, as among the world's religious leaders cited as the most admired. So I'm going to ask you guys out there, is any of the Watchtower members in there? Are they admired by the world? For what? For covering up CSA? They don't even come close, Watchtower, to any figure that the world admires. Now, the Dalai Lama's appeal is voraciously ascribed to his charismatic personality, international fascination with Buddhism. So, is that Jarrett Losch? Does he have an international fascination with Buddhism? No. He's a Watchtower cult leader. He invented his own religion. He's part of it. Now, the Dalai Lama is a universalist in values. What does that mean? Well, a universalist is a... I'll pull this right into this. Let's just go back. I wanted the short read on it. A universalist is... right here. Pull this in. Well, is a philosophical and theological concept within Christianity that some ideas have universal application or applicability. A belief in one fundamental truth is another important tenet in universalism. So universalism sees that there's commonalities out there among everything. And it's true, there is. That's what I've been saying. There's commonalities out there among all religions. They all talk about love, living your life with love. But when we look at the Watchtower, they're focused on image and real estate. They're not going out there and looking at the whole world and saying, yeah, we all have a little bit in common. In fact, Watchtower is doing exactly the opposite. They're going out and telling their people, we're completely different from the world. They're all demonized. They're all run by Satan. In fact, the Dalai Lama, Buddhism, all of that, Jehovah's Witnesses believe it's all part of Satan's wicked system. So I don't get it, folks. When it comes to legalities and law, the Watchtower really steps out of bound of its own Watchtower articles and how they programmed all of us when we're in the Watchtower. They really step outside of that. They take on clergy-penitent privilege. We're just like the Dalai Lama. Wow. I can't believe any of this, but this is a fact. This is what's going on, folks. And this is why we bring this to the table. So you guys know the Watchtower's mindset and how they think. It's completely different than what they taught their followers, which they teach. Completely different. Well, let's give a little bit of a comparison. Watchtower has been repeatedly sued for hiding child sex abuse inside the organization. They fought subpoenas, refusing to turn over documents that could expose abusers. And their governing body members, including Jarrett Loesch, they have dodged court appearances using technicalities. And all of this time, they tell their followers to obey secular authorities. Isn't that something? Let's just take a look at this little chart we put up here, this comparison chart, the comparison and transparency. Well, the comparison, it just doesn't fall short. It insults every real survivor of the Watchtower abuse cover-ups. That's what this does. It insults all of us. So the next time you hear the Watchtower boast about spiritual dignity of their governing body, remember what they really fight to protect. It's not you. It's not truth. It's themselves. So the governing body, they don't care about you. They don't care about truth. All they care about is their image and their assets. And that's a fact. Well, stick with us, folks. Hit subscribe, like, help us push these videos out. We keep knocking the Watchtower down, one brick at a time, one video at a time, and it takes you as the audience to make this happen. So thanks again for being the audience. Keep living your life with love, and we'll see you on the next video. Have a great day. Bye for now.